What is up, guys? Mo over here from TurnUpTheComfort.com, sitting for you over here in on a Friday morning. Gonna get some good information about range hoods for you. I've got my cup of Black Rifle coffee over here, and if you see me sipping in between, just got to get that good coffee, good caffeine going for the day. But anyway, 5 reasons why you should consider or get a range hood. Let's start with number 1. So, a lot of you guys are going to say cooking with gas is better. You know, gas range tops, propane range tops, whatever you guys got inside your kitchen. Now, if you have an electrical range top, this is still for you, so stand by for the remaining 4. So number 1 over here on your list is carbon monoxide. If you guys got carbon monoxide in your house, that is not great. Carbon monoxide comes from boilers, dryers, gas dryers that is, and many other appliances, which is why they say don't have a generator inside your house. Keep it outside your house. You see a lot of that during the storms. Stupid people bringing generators inside their house, dying from carbon monoxide. So you have a stove, you're cooking a lot, and you have carbon monoxide in your house. So your first logical answer and question is going to be, Mo, I don't understand. I've got a carbon monoxide detector. How come my carbon monoxide detector is not ringing? It's very simple why your carbon monoxide detector doesn't ring. The Underwriters Laboratories, the UL listing, is set, if I recall correctly, for 80 parts per million. That is 80 parts per million as a threshold. It won't ring till above that, and then it'll ring at 240 parts per million time weighted average, and that means 240 parts per million in a specific time. So here's what happens. We wear, as a company, to protect me and my employees, we wear low-level carbon monoxide detectors. And what that helps us is if we're in a boiler room, we're in a home, or anywhere, we know that there's carbon monoxide present at a very low level before it becomes dangerous for us to be in the home or the building. So we go in a lot of places and they're cooking and they have carbon monoxide, 9, 10, 15, 20 parts per million, whatever it is. So you need that range hood to get the fumes out of the house. So now there are 2 types of range hoods. One type is it actually evacuates the air from the house, and the second type is it just recirculates inside. Now the one that just recirculates inside, that is for a couple applications, and I will run through that in a minute. So you want to get, just like a boiler, just like a dryer, just like a hot water heater, you want to vent to the outside. You want your gas range vented to the outside. You got your gas range top and your your gas oven. So this way you're not getting any carbon monoxide. That is item number 1. The second one falls into the category of the recirculate style, which it takes the air off the top of the range and off the top of the stove and then recirculates it back into the room, and that is grease. That's the second reason. So if you have smell and you have grease, a range hood that takes the air to the outside is actually going to get rid of the smell and rid of the grease. You're not going to have any stains above your stove on your kitchen ceiling from grease stains, and it'll actually control the fumes to go up and not grease up your entire kitchen. And the other thing is, if you are going to have one that's going to recirculate, say you live in a condo building and you can't get that exhaust to the outside due to the restrictions of making holes in the building or running things through the building, or if you have a kitchen that does not facilitate, or you have an electric stove or oven that you still want to control the grease, but you don't want to vent it to the outside, you can do one of those recirculate ones where it takes air in and then it blows it back into the room and it just catches all the grease. That is an option for you too, and that is the second reason. You want to make sure that you're getting a range top. 1 is for carbon monoxide. Item number 2 is you want to make sure that you're catching all the grease and everything in the air. Let me just take a quick sip. Item number 3, and this is for the ones that evacuate the fumes to the outside, and that is heat. A standard range hood could be putting out 60,000 BTUs or more on full blast. Now, if you got one of those big, nice Wolf ovens, that's gas or even electric, you're going to be putting a lot more heat back to the home. So in an effort to not have to add in all that cooling back into your home to combat the, you don't want to combat all that heat, the best thing is to vent it out of your house, and then this is going to go to another thing in a second, but you want to vent it out of your house. So now, rather than add tonnage to your air conditioner, let me just give you what 60,000 BTUs is. So if you're producing 60,000 BTUs in the form of heat based off of your oven, then that is 12,000 BTUs is 1 ton, and that is 5 tons of air conditioning. So now you have to take 5 tons of air conditioning just to counteract that little bit of you got to take 5 tons of air conditioning just to counteract what your oven is producing in the house. So the best thing to do is get it out. Now that brings item number 2 is, well, that air that you have in your house, it's like a balloon. You can't suck the air out of a balloon. It's going to go flat. So instead of turning the house into a negative vacuum, there are 2 places you're going to get air. If you're a leaky old home, air comes in the cracks. Air comes in when the door gets open, and then your vent hood is just running properly. So what basically happens is with your vent hood, if you got like a low CFM, you got a regular house, great. But it has air where to pull through. So now the question is, hey, I'm pulling moist, humid air from the outside during the summer season. Now, the energy penalty of moist, hot, humid air from the outside is going to be a lot less than that 60,000 BTUs that your oven is giving off, that you're not venting out, even if you're not worried about a carbon monoxide risk because you have an electric appliance. So the other thing is the fancy hoods will have a spot where fresh air will come into the in right above, and you'll have fresh air coming in, and then it'll basically be falling, and as the fan is sucking the air out, you basically have a diluting effect. Fresh air is coming in, diluting, circling in the air, and then it's taking some of that hot air out, but then you're bringing in fresh air. Those are more for the commercial appliance style hoods, and that is also for the type of hoods that are high CFM. Your regular 2, 3, 4, 500 CFM is just going to be plain Jane. Crack a window open, give it some air to breathe back into the house. If you have an economizer or HRV or somewhere where you bring in fresh air into the house, your fan will suck air through that through that system, and it'll basically you'll be bringing fresh air into the house, which is, again, it's going to be an energy penalty, which is what I was basically building at. And the energy penalty of the hot, humid air, or even heating the cold air from the outside, is going to be a lot less than the energy penalty from all that built-up heat in your house. So that brings me number 4. Number 4 is all that moisture. If you have a tight home, especially summertime, you can get a lot of moisture from cooking. When you're drying out the foods, where do you think all that dry air goes? All that humidity. I mean, you're cooking on you've got a skillet going on. You take a bunch of potatoes, you throw it in the oven, make a big potato kugel or something like that, and now all that humidity has to evaporate. So if you don't give it a channel to evaporate and get out of the home, then what you're basically doing is you're adding humidity to the inside of your house, making your AC, making your dehumidifier, or possibly even just, instead of just making those 2 items work harder, now you've got mold in addition to that. The last thing, and this is the last thing before I give you guys a good tip, is resale value. Resale value of your home when you have a nice, expensive vent hood is going to be a lot higher. There's nothing like going into a kitchen and seeing this big commercial hood. It actually shows that whoever lived here was serious about cooking. It shows that you can do some serious cooking in the kitchen. There's nothing like having a big, nice oven that cost whatever it cost, and then having that big range top. It shows this kitchen wasn't here for show. This kitchen here was actually here to make food and then entertain parties. So that's that. Now let me give you the tip. When you're doing the range hood, the biggest mistake that we find is that people are venting their hoods too small. There are static pressures, and there are a bunch of other charts that you should consider looking at. Feel free to reach out to me and my team. We will be glad to help you and guide you in the right direction, if not just tell you the correct answer. If the top of the hood has a 4-inch or a 6-inch or an 8-inch, does not mean that you should vent it out of the house in that 4-inch. Now, you may vent it in 4-inch, 6-inch, or 8-inch if it's a short distance. But if your distance is 20 feet, 50 feet, 100 feet, or you have to have multiple elbows, that is something that you have to consider increasing the duct to allow the duct to properly move out of your house and be able to move the rated air. So instead of going ahead and buying yourself a $2,500, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 hood that is good for 1,000 CFM, 800 CFM, it looks great, it makes a lot of noise, whatever it is, but it doesn't perform great. You want it to perform great is not just you have to have a heavy horsepower car that is powerful, but you have to have good tires to hook up to the ground and that you guys can actually get that traction. It's the same way with a vent hood. You want to make sure that not only are you spinning the air, the fan, fast enough to produce a lot of airflow to be able to push out of the house, you want to be able to make sure that the duct size is increased properly for the correct distance so you can actually move the correct amount of air. And the thing that you will learn out of that is when you have the right size ductwork to move the air out of the house, what's going to end up happening is you can run that fan in a lower speed, a much lower speed, and you produce a lot less noise and get all the benefits we just said. You're going to end up with less CO or no CO in the house. You're going to end up with no smell or grease. You're going to end up with less excess heat to the home. You're going to end up with moisture, less of that in the home, and I can't tell you, if you increase the vent, you'll get better resale value, because most people do not know what's behind closed walls, and that is actually why we run the Million Dollar Bungalow Show. You should tune in every single week. My name is Mo, turnupthecomfort.com. It is the week of March 20th, Corona Town. I am bunkering down over here for a little bit, doing some work by myself in the office. Everybody else is working remotely. We're working doing a lot of field work. Don't forget, we can help you with your plumbing, heating, cooling. We do your mechanical and your consulting. We do service, maintenance, install, designs, anything you need, from a tiny home, a smaller home, to large homes, mansions, 25,000, 23,000 square foot. We deal with everything from your small, if you got a little nursing home out in the boonies, all to a large nursing home out in a city environment. We can help you with anything, multi-unit income properties, nursing homes, your business, breweries. If you're a cleaners, you have steam equipment to clean people's clothing and press their clothing. We can help you with all that. It's all one and the same. An orifice is an orifice, a spray is a spray, steam is steam, latent heat, sensible heat, all that stuff. Plumbing, heating, cooling, ventilation, filtration. Should you go with a filter that is a little bit better due to the corona? We've got a lot of that information. We are here. It's actually, Trump just put something in yesterday, March 19th, that basically said that plumbing, heating, and cooling professionals are critical to this corona thing. We are, considered the same as doctors. And if you really think about that, as long as you're not a scam artist, and you're scam artists and all over, you got fake chiropractors, good chiropractors, you've got good doctors, bad doctors, you've got all different types, and you got that in the plumbing, heating, and cooling industry too. And one thing that I and my team provide to a customer and take pride in is we will make sure that you stay healthy, happy, safe. You want all that stuff. You don't want to be cold. You don't want to be hot. You want the air to be sanitary. You want the toilets to be sanitary. You don't want to be in a porta-john. You want to have working plumbing, working heating, working cooling. We are the company for you. We just started a massive apprentice program, especially with the corona stuff happening. Just got a young 16-year-old kid came on board with us this week. Every week we're increasing our staff. It depends on what's going on, but we're taking apprentices every single day, any part of the industry you want to be in. We've got people doing media. We've got 2 people doing video. We've got people doing CRMs. We've got people doing the website for us. We've got people working in the field for us. Like any part of this industry, if you got a young kid or a young girl, boy or girl, doesn't matter who, 20 years old, 16 years old, 22 years old, and they want to get into a company that is going to make it. We're going from medium, small size, all the way through rocket size. Like, you're going to see us all over the place. Definitely want to reach out to my office at 347-460-HEAT, 347-460-HEAT, or reach out turnupthecomfort.com. Check us out over there. Got 3 shows a week. Here to help you. My name is Mo. I'm your main man, Mo. The only one that's going to give you the straight truth about it all. So give me a call. Give us a call. We look forward to working with you, helping you, and I hope you enjoyed these 5 tips on why you should consider a vent hood in your home or business or office or kitchen. Catch you later.